Question 771. What is the main objective of a security awareness training policy? A. To enforce data encryption standards. B. To educate employees on cybersecurity risks and best practices. C. To control physical access to sensitive areas. D. To require regular vulnerability assessments. Correct answer. B. To educate employees on cybersecurity risks and best practices. Security Awareness Training Policy is a program designed to educate employees about cybersecurity risks and best practices by providing guidance on recognizing threats, handling sensitive data, and following security protocols. It helps reduce the risk of human error, phishing attacks, and social engineering by ensuring that employees understand and adhere to security measures. Question 722. Some users on your network who use MB Bank for personal banking have recently fallen victim to an attack. They visited a fake MB Bank website, and their logins were compromised. They all accessed the site from your network and insist they typed the correct URL. What is the most likely explanation for this? A. Clickjacking. B. DNS poisoning. C. IP spoofing. D. Man-in-the-middle attack. Correct answer. B. DNS poisoning. DNS, domain name system poisoning, occurs when the DNS data in a server's cache is altered, causing it to return an incorrect IP address and direct users to a fraudulent website. This can lead to users unknowingly entering their login credentials on the fake site, compromising their sensitive information. Question 773. What factors contribute to vulnerabilities that may result in threats and exposures? A. Employees. B. Competitors. C. Risks. D. Threats. Correct answer. A. Employees. Employees frequently contribute to vulnerabilities that can expose an organization to threats. This can occur for several reasons, including using weak or repeated passwords across multiple accounts, being deceived by phishing attacks, neglecting to install security updates or patches, improperly handling sensitive data, ignoring or failing to follow security policies and procedures. Question 774. A systems administrator is diagnosing a server's connection to an internal web server and needs to identify the correct ports to use. Which of the following tools is the most effective for showing which ports on the web server are in a listening state? A. IPconfig. B. SSH. C. Ping. D. Netstat. Correct answer. D. Netstat. The netstat command is used to show network connections, including active and listening ports. It offers detailed information about the status of ports and their related IP addresses, making it ideal for diagnosing port activity. Question 775. Who is responsible for deciding who gets access to data and dictating data requirements? A. Data owner. B. Data custodian. C. Data protection officer. D. Data creator. Correct answer. A. Data owner. The data owner is the person or entity responsible for deciding who gets access to data, as well as defining the data requirements. This individual typically has control over the data and ensures that proper policies are in place for managing and securing it. Question 776. The difference between static KBA and dynamic KBA is that static KBA relies on predetermined security questions and answers chosen by the user during account creation, while dynamic KBA doesn't require users to choose questions. Instead, dynamic KBA uses various public and private data sources relevant to the user, making it a more secure authentication method. A. True. B. False. Correct answer, A. True. Static Knowledge-Based Authentication, KBA, involves the user choosing and answering specific security questions during account setup, but this can be less secure since the answers may be easily guessed or discovered by others. In contrast, dynamic KBA uses a range of public and private data sources related to the user to generate questions in real time, eliminating the need for pre-selected security questions. This makes dynamic KBA a more secure authentication method, as it is more difficult for an unauthorized person to predict or obtain the correct answers. Question 777. James is responsible for managing VPN connections in his company, which uses IPSec for VPNs. What is the main function of the AH in IPSec? A. Authenticate only the header. B. Authenticate the entire packet. C. Encrypt only the header. D. Encrypt the entire packet. Correct answer. B. Authenticate the entire packet. Authentication. Header in IPSec is a security protocol that provides authentication and integrity for network packets by verifying that the data has not been altered during transmission. It does not provide encryption, but ensures that both the header and payload are authenticated, making it useful for detecting unauthorized modifications. Question 778. Ethan is investigating a case where an internal user's computer was compromised by another internal user in the organization. Which logs should he examine to trace the source of the attack? A. Firewall logs. B. Authenticate the entire packet. C. Domain controller logs. D. Audit logs of the victim user. Correct answer. B. Authenticate the entire packet. To trace the source of the attack within the organization, Ethan should examine the audit logs of the attacker. These logs provide detailed records of the actions performed by the attacker on their own account or system, including login activities, resource access, privilege usage, and other events. Question 779. Which type of malware can be mitigated using an MX record in DNS? A. Rootkit. B. Bot. C. Phishing and spear phishing attacks. D. Adware. Correct answer. C. Phishing and spear phishing attacks. MX record in DNS identifies the mail servers designated to receive emails for a specific domain. By correctly configuring MX records and integrating them with email security protocols, an organization can defend against phishing and spear phishing attacks, ensuring that emails are accurately filtered, authenticated, and directed through secure channels. Question 780. Olivia is seeking an authentication method that incorporates the X.509 standard and supports digitally signed authentication. Which of the following is the best fit? A. Certificate-based authentication. B. Kerberos. C. OAuth. D. Smart cards. Correct answer A. Certificate-based authentication. Certificate-based authentication is an authentication method that incorporates the X509 standard and supports digitally signed authentication. It uses digital certificates issued by a trusted certificate authority to verify a user's identity, ensuring secure and tamper-proof authentication. Question 781. Mark is an administrator for a healthcare company and needs to support an older legacy application. He's concerned that this application may have vulnerabilities that could impact the rest of the network. What is the most effective way to address this concern? A. Implement SDN. B. Insist on an updated version of the application. C. Run the application on a separate VLAN. D. Use an application container. Correct answer. C. Run the application on a separate VLAN. Running the legacy application on a separate VLAN is the most effective way to address concerns about vulnerabilities impacting the rest of the network. By isolating the application in its own Virtual Local Area Network, VLAN, you can limit its access to other parts of the network, reducing the potential risk of exploitation. Question 782. Lucas wants to set up a proxy server that controls the websites accessed by the employees in his organization. Which type of proxy should he use? A. Blocking proxy. B. Caching proxy. C. Web proxy. D. Content filtering proxy. Correct answer? D. Content filtering proxy. A content filtering proxy is a type of proxy server used to control access to websites by filtering content based on specific rules. It is commonly used to block access to certain websites or restrict content according to categories, such as social media or adult content. This makes it an ideal choice for organizations that need to manage employee web access and ensure adherence to security policies. Question 783. Alex understands that security is a critical issue for any organization and wants it to be integrated within an application. Why might this be a problem? A. Alex isn't the head of security. B. Security is typically handled by security products and perimeter devices. The security application is too expensive. D. All of the above. Correct answer. B. Security is typically handled by security products and perimeter devices. Although incorporating security into an application is beneficial, using specialized security products such as firewalls, antivirus software, and intrusion detection systems is often more effective. These solutions offer a more thorough, layered security approach. Relying solely on application-level security may leave an organization exposed to threats that these dedicated tools can mitigate. Question 784. Using standard naming conventions offers several advantages. Which of the following is not a benefit of using naming conventions? A. It can help administrators determine the function of a system. B. It can help administrators identify misconfigured or rogue systems. C. It can help conceal systems from attackers. D. It can make scripting easier. Correct answer. It can help conceal systems from attackers. Adopting standard naming conventions for systems aids in administrative tasks like identifying a system's function, detecting misconfigurations, and simplifying automation scripting. However, these conventions do not inherently conceal systems from attackers. In fact, if attackers become aware of the naming conventions, they could use that information to pinpoint systems to target. Question 785. A risk assessment is one of the initial steps in developing a business continuity plan. What is the primary goal of conducting a risk assessment? A. To provide a list of risks to the organization along with possible counteractions. B. To compile a list of past crises the organization has encountered. C. To identify and evaluate potential risks that could affect the organization. D. To prioritize risks based on their likelihood and impact. Correct answer. C. To identify and evaluate potential risks that could affect the organization. Risk assessment is conducted to identify and evaluate potential risks that could affect an organization's operations, assets, and reputation. The goal is to understand the likelihood and impact of various risks so the organization can develop strategies to mitigate or manage these risks effectively within the business continuity plan. Question 786. Damage and impact assessment is part of which stage of the business continuity plan? A. Readiness. B. Prevention. C. Response. D. Recovery and resumption. Correct answer. C. Response. Damage and impact assessment is part of the response stage of the business continuity plan, where the focus is on assessing the immediate effects of a disaster or disruption. This process involves evaluating the extent of the damage to personnel, facilities, and operations, allowing the organization to prioritize recovery actions and minimize further losses. Question 787. Which of the following refers to a crucial document that governs the relationship between two businesses? A. ISA. B. ALE. C. SLA. D. BPA. Correct answer, D. BPA. Business Partnership Agreement is a legal document that defines the terms of a business relationship between two companies, including roles, responsibilities, and profit sharing. This ensures clarity and collaboration, reducing potential disputes, and providing a structured framework for operations. Question 788. Sam is responsible for how his company handles the data it collects about users and determining how and why personal information should be processed. What is Sam's role in the company? A. Data consumer. B. Data controller. C. Data custodian. D. Data steward. Correct answer. B. Data controller. Data controller is the role responsible for determining the purposes and methods of processing personal data within an organization. In this case, Sam's responsibility involves deciding how and why personal information should be collected, processed, and handled, ensuring compliance with privacy regulations such as GDPR. Question 789. Which law was created to prevent the government from acting like Big Brother and to protect citizens' privacy? A. The Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. B. Freedom of Information Act. C. Intellectual Property Act of Internet Access. D. Federal Privacy Act of 1974. Correct answer. D. Federal Privacy Act of 1974. The Federal Privacy Act of 1974 is a U.S. law that regulates how federal agencies handle personal information to protect citizens' privacy. It requires agencies to maintain accurate records, ensures individuals can access their own information, and limits the disclosure of personal data without consent. Question 790. What type of programming enables easy maintenance through a random sequence of keystrokes that grant access to software? A. Time of check. B. Maintenance locks. C. Maintenance hooks. D. Countermeasures. Correct answer, C. Maintenance hooks. Maintenance hooks are programming features embedded in software to provide authorized personnel with easier access for system maintenance. These hooks may be triggered by random or predefined keystrokes, simplifying maintenance and troubleshooting. However, if not properly controlled, they could pose a security risk, as unauthorized users might exploit them. Question 791. Which layer of the OSI model manages the setup, maintenance, and termination of connections between systems? A. Network layer. B. Transport layer. C. Session layer. D. Data link layer. Correct answer, C. Session layer. The session layer, Layer 5, of the OSI, Open Systems Interconnection model, handles the management of connections between systems, including the processes of establishing, maintaining, and ending sessions. It ensures proper setup, maintenance, and termination of communication sessions, facilitating reliable data exchange between applications. Question 792. Which of the following is an example of an automated tool used for performing security audits? A. Security awareness training. B. Intrusion detection system. C. Data encryption software. D. Physical access controls. Correct answer, B. Intrusion detection system. Intrusion detection system is an automated tool used for security auditing that monitors network traffic for suspicious activities and potential security threats. It analyzes system logs, detects anomalies, and generates alerts to help organizations identify and respond to security incidents. Question 793. Jack's computer has been compromised, and someone uploaded a set of tools that enable an attacker to access the system at any time. What did the attacker upload? A. Bluetooth vector. B. Rootkit. C. Rootbox. D. BlueKit. Correct answer, B. Rootkit. A rootkit is a collection of malicious software tools that provides an attacker with remote access and control over a computer system without detection. It enables the attacker to maintain continuous access to the system, often by concealing its own presence as well as that of other malware. Question 794. What is the term for a monitored system that contains no valuable data and is designed to detect unauthorized access attempts, diverting the attacker's attention from the actual network? A. Captive portal. B. HoneyNet. C. UTM appliance. D. honeypot. Correct answer, D. honeypot. A honeypot is a deliberately deployed decoy system or monitored host containing no valuable data, intended to lure and identify unauthorized access attempts. Its main goal is to distract attackers from the actual network while collecting insights into their techniques and tools. Question 795. What type of attack involves adding an expression or phrase, such as inserting safe into mail headers? A. Phishing. B. Prepending. C. Pretexting. D. SQL injection. Correct answer, B. Prepending. Prepending is a technique used by attackers to insert specific strings or keywords into headers or other parts of a message to manipulate its handling or perception by the recipient or security systems. This method can be used to bypass filters, trick users, or alter the behavior of applications that process the data. In this case, inserting SAFE into mail headers could be an attempt to make the message appear legitimate or trusted. Question 796. James wants to secure a real-time operating system, RTOS. Which security technique would be most effective for securing an RTOS? A. Disable the web browser. B. Install a host firewall. C. Install anti-malware software. D. Use secure firmware. Correct answer. Use secure firmware. In securing a real-time operating system, RTOS, using secure firmware is critical. Firmware is a low-level software that directly interacts with hardware, and vulnerabilities in firmware can severely compromise the entire system. Secure firmware ensures the RTOS operates in a safe and trusted environment by incorporating robust security features and protection against unauthorized modifications. Question 797. As the person in charge of server room security, you're concerned about potential physical theft of computers. Which of the following would be most effective in identifying theft or attempted theft? A. Logging all individuals who enter the server room. B. Motion sensor activated cameras. C. Smart card access control for the server rooms. D. Strong deadbolt locks on the server rooms. Correct answer. B. Motion sensor activated cameras. Motion sensor activated cameras begin recording video whenever movement is detected, capturing evidence of unauthorized access or attempted theft. These cameras are perfect for monitoring and documenting activity, which can be vital in identifying suspects and establishing a timeline of events. Question 798. Which of the following refers to a general-purpose, cross-platform programming language? A. PowerShell. B. Visual Basic. C. MVPL. D. Python. Correct answer? D. Python. Python is a versatile general-purpose programming language renowned for its simplicity and adaptability. It can be applied to various tasks, including web development, data analysis, and automation. Python is compatible with multiple operating systems, such as Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, making it cross-platform. Question 799. Adam is designing an embedded system that requires low-power, peer-to-peer communication. Which of the following technologies would be most suitable for this purpose? A. Baseband radio. B. Cellular. C. Narrowband radio. D. Zigbee. Correct answer. D. Zigbee. Zigbee is a low-power, peer-to-peer communication protocol designed for embedded systems. It is widely used in applications like home automation, industrial automation, and other embedded systems where energy efficiency and reliable communication between devices are critical. Question 800. Channels allow for communication to travel from one computer to another. What channel type divides communication channels into individual and independent channels? A. Digital, B. Analog, C. Baseband, D. Broadband. Correct answer. D. Broadband. Broadband communication channels divide communication into separate and independent channels, allowing multiple signals or data streams to be transmitted simultaneously. This is achieved by using a wide range of frequencies, making it suitable for various types of data transfer, including internet access, video streaming, and voice communication.
Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful for you, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more practice questions and tips.